So I'm Perdita Wexler here with the beautiful Tina Archuleta doing her plant-based chili stew and potato salad this evening. So we're really grateful that she can present this. We're providing this workshop as there's been community interest expressed in plant-based cooking and recipe modification. So we have a wonderful resource in Tina Archuleta with her passion for this and her knowledge of how to make these things happen in a really tasty way. So really excited about that. And there will be two more of these sessions coming up on the 23rd, which will be beans and blue corn bread. And please do ask questions and let's interface, and also, but do keep yourself muted if you're not talking. You can also use the chat, and Kevin will help us out with reading those and making sure those are paid attention to. So, so maybe we'll go around and just real quick so Tina can have a sense of who's out there, just your name and maybe how you're here this evening.
Hi, everybody. I'm Catherine. Sorry, Kevin. I work with the Thamaya Wellness Program, and I decided to join tonight's class because I'm interested in the green chili stew and potato salad. I want to learn the recipe. It sounded really good. Thanks.
Thanks, Catherine. Of course, I'm Kevin Montoya, working with the Wellness Program. I'm here because, like Tina mentioned earlier, I like chili stew and potato salad, and it'd be interesting to see your burrito if you ever come up with that. I think that would be a cool feast day food truck idea. I'll pick Raquel to go next.
Hi, my name's Raquel. Hold on, let me turn this off. I have my music playing. I don't know how that happened here. Anyway, so I'm Raquel. My husband is cooking something in the kitchen, so that's what the banging is. But I am a tribal member. I am on the Good Health and Wellness committee with Perdita, and so I enjoy trying out all their new foods, and I like Tina's vegan recipes. We're trying to eat healthier, so trying to find ways to make those recipes without meat. So thanks. I'll choose Angela to go next.
Okay, hi. I switched from my phone to my computer. Angela, the Maya Wellness Program. Really excited about the recipes tonight, and I'm actually going to try and join you and do it with you. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks.
Did Perdita talk already, or are you all waiting for me?
Your turn. Go Tina.
Oh, I am Tina Nguyen with the Thamaya Wellness Program. I'm their admin assistant, the jack of all trades. So I got to learn a new one, I guess, with other Tina in your cooking. But I need to smell the aroma. The aroma.
Yeah, we need some smell, like, yeah, some smell-o-vision or something, but we'll have to use our imaginations for now. Hopefully, eventually we can do this in another manner. But for now we have this, so no further ado, take it away, Tina Archuleta.
Great. Well, thank you all for being here. I totally wish we could be in person at the kitchen, at the wellness center, and you guys could smell it firsthand and taste the food. Right now, it smells like onions. I chopped an onion, and that's what it smells like. You couldn't imagine your eyes watering up right now. Great. So my name is Tina Archuleta. I am from Pueblo. I am the owner and founder of Itality Plant-Based Wellness. It's a plant-based food business that I created based off my own recipes. I have been vegetarian now for 15 years, I'm sorry. And what led me to develop these recipes is just my love for my food and my Pueblo culture. So, you know, I just decided I wanted to still enjoy the things that I love in a vegetarian or vegan way, now a plant-based way. So we all know and love the chili stew, potato salad combination, and that's where this inspiration comes from tonight. So I hope that you enjoy what you are going to learn tonight, how I go through things. Please feel free to ask questions along the way. It's just us here. We know each other now. And questions are really welcome. We love questions as I'm chopping, you know, as we have time spread out. And if not, you can just type it in the chat box and we'll get to the question when we do have time. So great. So I'm just going to start off by going through the items I have here, the items that we'll be using tonight. Everything you see here is what we will be needing. I have out some utensils, a mixing bowl, a pot, you know, a pillar, basic things. Sorry, you can't see, I didn't realize. A paring knife, a chopping knife, and then our ingredients: potatoes, zucchini, onion, celery, tomatoes, dill is optional, Vegenaise. This is our vegan plant-based mayonnaise replacement, olives, pickles, salt, oil. I forgot to list oil on the list that was emailed out. Tonight I have sunflower seed oil. You're welcome to use any kind of other oil you may have or prefer. I have some tamaya blue corn and my lentils, legumes. I have my Hamus red chili, russet potatoes, and tonight you'll also be needing a blender and a drainer. So great, so that's everything we need. Oh, sorry about that. I bumped my screen here. So for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna be just breaking up the time in a way that will make our recipe work within the hour. So if you're doing this on your own at home, you can do this in any order you want. You don't have to make it all at once. You can break it up, do the potato salad ahead of time, then the stew, or the stew cooking all day, then the potato salad. It's up to you guys. So just know you don't have to follow this pretty crazy method here tonight. So I'm just first of all going to get my pot on the stove. I have my oven preheated to 350 to roast my red chili. I already de-seeded and de-stemmed the red chili. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the oven for a quick minute. Okay, so we're going to start with our chili stew. While the chili is in there cooking, I am going to mince my garlic and my onions. I did this ahead of time so that I wouldn't cry on camera. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go through and start by mincing this garlic while the chili is cooking. Another thing I also did was I rinsed and prepped all these vegetables. And they're dry now. They've been laying out on a kitchen towel. So you could do that ahead of time as well. And I'm just gonna quickly mince these garlic pieces. They don't have to be super pretty. They're gonna break down in your water. And I use a lot of garlic in my food for medicinal purposes as well as for flavor. Garlic is a great immune booster. It's an antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral food. Great, so I have all of those minced, and I'm saving a small clove or about a half of a large one for my blended chili. So that's minced. I'm gonna turn on my stove and my pot there to medium heat. I'll get my blender ready. Check on my red chili in the oven. Be very careful not to burn that. It cooks really fast, or I should say roasts really fast. As soon as you can smell the red chili, it's just about done. You don't want to overcook that. As soon as you smell it, you're going to take it out of the oven. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a step. I'm gonna go ahead and put water over this red chili, let it soak and rinse.
So Tina, do you have a preferred red chili, or do you?
Yes, I prefer Jemez red chili, preferably just because I know where it comes from, and the seed has been in our community for years, and it's very hot, and I can rely on the red chili being hot. And I know it's organic, it's grown organically. I'm sure there's native farmers there in Tamaya that grow the best red chili, and yeah, so I like to keep it local. And I should say, I heard earlier mentioned that that you came for green chili stew, and this recipe can also be made with green chili. The green chili stew in my community is actually made this way with the potatoes, zucchini, tomatoes. I kind of decided to go red with this same recipe. It might be against my Pueblo law, my Pueblo cooking traditions, but I really enjoy this recipe, and I enjoy it as a red chili stew, but it's just as good as a green chili. Part of what I love is the red chili, you know, getting soaked up in bread, or I just love that. So that's why I do this one. So here's my cooking pot. It's warm enough. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some of my sunflower oil. You can use canola, grapeseed, any kind of oil you really want. That was about 2 to 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna add in our minced garlic and our minced onion. This is 1 whole onion. And we're just gonna let this cook down. They're gonna sweat. We're gonna make sure that's on a low heat so they're not really frying. They're just sweating out their flavor into the oil. So that's what we really want. So as that's cooking, we're gonna go ahead and work on our red chili. So the red chili here, it's been soaking in water. I'm just gonna rinse it. Give it another rinse. You might leave that a few minutes longer than what I did. Going straight into the blender, 1 piece of garlic, and about a cup to a cup and a half of water. You may have another method of preparing your red chili. I'm not sure. Some people like to cook it on the stove in a pot and then drain it and blend it. But I was taught to roast it and then let it soak and blend.
Tina, there's
And right now I'm choking up because of, go ahead, Kevin. I'm choking from the chili.
There was a question about if you're able to sub with chili powder, red chili powder.
Yes, yes. You can totally do that. I would just make it into a paste ahead of time. I don't really cook with chili powder just because this is how I've learned to do it my whole life. But I can imagine it's the same method. The chili is probably roasted before blended, and you would just, you know, infuse it with water or even add it directly to your chili stew. You can hear the onion sizzling away. I'm gonna put this to blend, and I'm gonna actually mute my screen while I blend it. So
Maybe while she's blending, I don't know if anybody else on screen has ever used chili powder in their stews or you have any experience with it. I don't know, maybe you want to share.
Ooh, look at that red. Nice shade of red in the blender there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question though. Yeah, about how you adapt, you know, if you don't have these chilies, what's available.
No, I've made like a potato stew and then you just kind of add some chili powder in it, but it's not as thick, so you probably have to really add a lot more, or like she mentioned, make a paste of it. I'm not sure. Yeah.
So what is Angela going to use, I wonder? Oh, there it is. Oh, that looks good.
hey, okay, the chili's blended. You just want to blend it. I did it on high so that it could go really fast, and there's still a little bit of pieces, but you want to blend it till there's no more pieces, so it looks really smooth. This looks really hot, looks pretty thick. And I'm just gonna put this off to the side until we need it again. And as you may have seen, I started peeling the potatoes. These are organic red potatoes. And if you've heard me cook before or seen me cook potatoes before, you may know that I like to leave the skin on my potatoes. And this is for nutritional reasons, because a lot of vitamins are right under the layer of skin. So I don't want to get rid of those. What I do is I just go through and I kind of clean up the potatoes a little. I'll take out knots. These ones kind of have a lot of little knots and blemishes. So I just make sure that I rinse them and kind of scrub them really well. And red potatoes have the highest nutritional content of any of the potatoes, besides sweet potatoes.
Good to know. Yeah, I have to say I often let my potatoes sit too long so they're sprouting. So I'm also one who prefers not to peel, but sometimes if they start sprouting, you have to do some
Yeah.
adjusting, right? So cleaning up.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give these a quick dice while we're waiting for our onions to steam. And yeah, I don't know, I just cut them into slices and then I'll cut them one way and then cut them the other way. I'm sure you've all had experience cutting potatoes. There's no wrong way. Let's just get these cut really fast. Yeah, growing up in Jemez, they had this chili stew made with green chili and made with pork, and it was just one of my favorite stews. I loved it. And you know, when I stopped eating meat and went plant-based, it was just like, oh my gosh, how do I recreate that? And I just decided to add lentils, and I really liked it. And that's how it has stayed for me. Yeah, I really like it. Don't forget to stir your garlic and onions, as I just did.
So is the lentil of choice because of the texture of it and something about it that makes it reminiscent of that version? Or?
Well, lentils. So lentils they cook really fast. So lentils can cook within a half an hour. And then lentils, pound per pound, have more protein than beef. And it just really seemed to work well. So here's my onion and garlic. I overcooked my little garlics a little bit. You don't want to brown them like that. This is the step where I'm going to go ahead and add my tamaya blue corn. I'll add about a half a cup. And this is going to be my roux. It's like my thickening agent in this red chili. So as you can see, I just added that blue corn right from your backyard there. And I'm just gonna give it a little cook. It's starting to brown, so I'm just gonna add a little water. You can add water over adding extra oil, and it, as you can see, it just kind of steamed up. Just kind of went away. So I'm just gonna add a little more water and give this a good mix. And I'm just mixing the blue corn in with the oil, creating that roux. So now that that's thick, I'm gonna go to the sink and I'm gonna add water to my pot. I'm gonna fill it up. And as that's filling, I'm just gonna continue on prepping what we have to. My potatoes are cut, and now I'm gonna cut a zucchini. You can use any squash you want in this. It doesn't have to be zucchini. It could be yellow squash. It could be a patty pan. It could be pumpkin. Oh, I quartered them. I should have left them as halves, but it really doesn't matter. I like to make my zucchini chunks pretty thick. And the reason I make them thick is because they cook pretty fast and I want them to hold up. I want them to hold their shape. I don't want them to get overcooked and they'll disappear into our stew. So same thing, I'm cutting it in half, quarters, as best as you can. This one's curved. And big chunks. This is about 3/4 of an inch wide. Have enough water here. Put it back on the stove. And I forgot to mention when I was mentioning all the ingredients, the corn. I forgot to mention corn. So you could make this with hominy. You could make it with canned pozole if you needed to. In Jemez, they would use fresh corn. This is like a harvest dish. Or you can use frozen corn. So tonight, I'm using frozen corn. So let me grab that. So I have some organic frozen corn. And the good thing about frozen vegetables is that they have a lot of their nutritional value still intact because they freeze the produce immediately after it's harvested. So they're a great choice for eating plant-based. I'm gonna go ahead and add my potatoes to our stew. Splashing water all over. I'm not gonna add the zucchini just yet. Oh, I think one got in there. We're gonna put this on high now so that we can get it boiling. And we're also gonna add in our red chili. So let's go ahead and add, this is a 1/2 cup. And how much you add will depend on your family's preference, your preference, how hot the chili is. So you might want to check that. I'm going to go ahead and add a full cup. This is 1/2 cup, so I'm just doing it twice. Rinse the chili off for that. Yeah, so there's our stew base. It's just gonna thicken up. You can see the blue corn in there. It's kind of becoming, it will become thicker as it boils. I feel like I added a little much water, so we'll just keep an eye on the boil so it's not popping all over. So now that our chili stew is gonna be good boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to preparing. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We gotta add our meat, our protein. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in a cup of lentils. I almost forgot that this was lentil stew. And these will really plump up, so you don't want to add too much. They seem pretty small. I've definitely underestimated how much this will become. So this looks like a good cup of lentils. I'm just going to give it a quick rinse because we don't know what this has been through. So there's our green lentils. There's also red lentils, French lentils. They're dark green. These are called green lentils. I think, you know, I don't know. I think I mentioned already that I choose this because I like their cook time. They cook really fast. And you don't have to soak them. It's a quick way to get protein. And they'll cook in the same amount of time that these potatoes cook. So about 30 minutes. This stew will be ready.
Tina, did your blue corn
Yeah.
is it still like little clumps or did it break down like did it dissolve?
It broke down. I see a few little clumps. I see a little bit of clumps right now, but it's gonna break down.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about like
Yeah,
breaking it
and
down.
honestly, like a tole or corn mush. Yeah. Well, the water you add, like I'm sorry I didn't mention this, but when I added water, it was a bit warm. It wasn't cold. Yeah, so I would preferably add warm water. I think if you add cold, it might clump. But yeah, I'm not seeing any clumps right now. Oh, there's one a little bit clumped on an onion.
All right.
But it'll break up. And if you see clumps, just give them a little smash.
Yeah, and you added that just to make it thicker, right?
Yeah, it gives it a good consistency. It's kind of like a roux, right? Like how some people might thicken their beans with flour. You could choose corn flour over wheat flour. And I hope it's going well for you, Angela. I know you're cooking along. Yeah, so I'm kind of jumping all over and forgetting things, so thank you. But yeah, let's move on to the potato salad. As soon as the water starts boiling, I'm gonna put in our zucchini to the stew. So I'm just gonna put this on the side for now. So for our potato salad, I used russet potatoes. You can use any ones you like. I get russet for potato salad just because they really soak up what I'm adding. And a lot of times they're cheaper than gold or red. So like, you know, for a feast day dish or for my whole family, I would do maybe 5 pounds. Tonight I did about half the bag. Just to have this to save to show you guys. So I would start the potato salad by peeling my potatoes, rinsing them, dicing them, and then boiling them in salted water for about 20 minutes until they're tender. At that point, I drain the potatoes from the water and I would let them cool down for a while. So these are prepared potatoes that I'm just gonna put off into to the side for right now. And we're gonna prepare our potato salad. 3 stalks of celery to 2.5 pounds of potatoes, and you could use however much you like. I don't know how you guys make your potato salad in your community, but in my community, it's pretty similar. People make their potato salad very similar. The only difference was to make this plant-based was my family used to put eggs in potato salad and they would use regular mayonnaise versus the plant-based mayonnaise. So so the only thing that's missing really is the egg. And I don't notice it. People, when they have my potato salad, they really don't notice it. But if you're someone who loves the eggs, you might notice.
Does the mayonnaise and the Vegenaise have a different taste?
So this is it right here. Vegenaise, I'll read the ingredients to you real quick. It's canola oil, brown rice syrup, apple cider vinegar, soy protein, sea salt, mustard flour, and lemon juice concentrate. I really don't notice the taste. I haven't had regular mayonnaise in 15 years. So I can't, like, this just became my mayonnaise. I can't really say that I notice a difference, but when I serve this to people, they don't notice a difference. And I think Perdita has a good
Yes, my
good
father
story
is
about
a huge fan
this
of
very
mayonnaise.
exact situation.
Yeah, my dad used to eat spoonfuls, tablespoons of mayonnaise. He has a great passion for it, and he now is just as impassioned in eating the veganese. It's just as good, endorsed by my father, great lover of mayonnaise. So there you have it.
Where do you get that?
Yeah.
You can find it at most grocery stores. I think
It's-
I purchased it for him at Smith's. Have I seen it at Albertsons? I think as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
And certainly at
it's in
Sprouts, yeah.
Albertsons. It's everywhere. It's at Walmart, Albertsons. At Walmart, it's in that section across the produce where they have like their tofu and alternative stuff. At Albertsons on 528, it's also near the produce where they have the alternative like meats and stuff. Yeah, but it's everywhere. Keep an eye out. And the good thing is that you're getting the mayonnaise texture, flavor, but not the cholesterol. So right now I'm just slicing these olives. If you don't like doing this, you could buy sliced olives.
And those are black olives, Tina?
Yeah, they're black olives. And I also have some pickles here. That's a favorite in our potato salad. Dill pickles. If you're gonna add dill, sometimes you don't even need to add the pickles. I find you get the dill taste. You could, if you don't have pickles, you could just add a dash of vinegar, get the vinegar taste, some dill, get the dill taste. Again, I should have asked.
Crunchy pickle thing, and that's important as well in my household. It's crunch, right?
Yeah, and one time I made this with hot pickles, my potato salad. I was cooking at the Bodhi Zen Center, and they just used donated food, and they had a hot pickle, and that's all they had. So I went for it, and it was just the biggest hit ever. So yeah, that looks good for this demo. So there's our olives, pickles, and celery. And here's some dill sprigs. You don't need much. You don't even need it if you don't have it. But it smells great. Fresh dill. If you buy a pack of fresh dill and you don't use it all, you could just lay it out to dry or put it on your dehydrator and dry the rest and then save it. So just plucking off the leaves from the stem. The little sprigs, it smells like a pickle factory. And I'm just gonna give that a little rough chop. So all of that's ready. And again, because I'm cooking stew at the same time, I'm just gonna switch on over and add the zucchini to the stew. It's getting pretty warm. You can see the cornmeal in there, thickening up. And I'm gonna add the zucchini now. It's gonna splash. My pot's pretty full. You might not need that much water. Yeah, I might have to take some out. Adding our zucchini. And I'm gonna go ahead and add my corn. Half a cup of corn. I don't know if you guys can see what the lighting's like, but it's all there. Lentils are still hard. I'm gonna take out a little bit of that juice. Yeah, the corn, to me, it gives it just another texture, another flavor. There's not, you know, if I didn't put corn, it would be fairly watery. It wouldn't be like a thick chili stew. And what I'm going for is a thick chili stew. So that's why I add the corn. But yeah, let's go on to the potato salad. Here's our potatoes, our super special ingredient, veggies. So I'm gonna add about a cup of veggies. As you can see, it looks just like mayonnaise. So that's about a cup. And now I'm gonna add my mustard. Just regular yellow mustard. And this is gonna be about a tablespoon. And I just give that a little mix. I'm gonna add in all the remaining ingredients, our celery, our pickles, olives, everything. Dill, all going in. Oh, I guess you'll need 2 wooden spoons. So let's give that a mix. Don't forget to add some salt into your potato salad and your stew, maybe like a teaspoon there and a good teaspoon to 2 teaspoons in your stew. So I like my potato salad pretty mustardy. And so I'll add about another half tablespoon to tablespoon, just depending. I kind of base it off the color. And that's all mixed together. Once it's mixed together, I'll add some black pepper, half teaspoon. And that is it. That's our potato salad. It's pretty basic, your regular potato salad recipe.
I love
Very good.
Your endorsement of the russet potato is something that will soak up flavor. So I'm thinking of it like as the tofu of the potato family.
Yeah, they're all really good. They all have a good flavor. But yeah, and plus when you're making a lot, if you need a lot of potatoes, russet are cheaper. So that's what it is. Our potato salad's ready. I'll just go ahead and chill that a little more. Let the flavors mingle, and then it'll be ready when your chili stew is ready. So back to where we were. Let's go ahead and check our stew. Everything looks really good. The only ingredient we have left to add to this is our tomatoes. And I mentioned on the ingredient list that you could either use stewed tomatoes or fresh tomatoes. So I went ahead and got both. I got stewed tomatoes and I already had fresh tomatoes. So I just want to mention that if you use the stewed tomatoes in your stew, you would go ahead and open the can, rinse the tomatoes, drain them, and then I would add that to the stew right about now, right about the same time that everything's boiling. For fresh tomatoes, I'll wait to the very end. And like I said earlier, this is normally maybe a harvest stew. So these would be fresh from the field. And the reason I wait to the end is that so they don't overcook. If I cook them too long, whoa, tomatoes going. If I cook them too long, they'll bust. They'll just be skin at the end. So I wait till the very last minute to drop these in. So yeah, I got rid of my paring knife. So I'm just gonna take a paring knife and I'm simply gonna cut them in half. Nothing fancy. I like to cut them. These are cherry tomatoes. You could use any tomatoes really, but I'll just cut these in half so they will maintain their shape for the most part. You could put them in whole too. If you try and stretch them out so that, you know, you have a tomato in every bite, you would cut them in half. And that's that. Let's cut these in half, all of them. Our stew is still coming along. It's finally starting to bubble up. Tomatoes are done. And now you could use this time to, you know, clean up your space, put things away, put your potato salad in the fridge, put your veggies back.
So Tina, you also have a green chili version of this. So would it have a different variety of veggies that you would put in, or?
No, it's the same vegetables I would use. I would just use green chili over red chili. Yeah, it's the same for me. I mentioned earlier that in my Pueblo, they make this specific stew with green chili. You wouldn't see this stew combination with red chili in my community, but I like to do it. One time I catered for a community meeting of farmers. It was like Hamish men, like these elder men, and I was so afraid. I was like, oh no, these guys are gonna say, where's the meat? And I made this stew and everyone loved it. Nobody asked where the meat was. People got seconds and I was so happy. But let me introduce this book to you guys. It's called the Pueblo Indian Cookbook. I really like it. I found it at the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center. And surprisingly, I found this almost same recipe. It's called chili stew with corn dumplings. And they ask for the exact same things. Potatoes. Oh, they ask for pinto beans, lard, onion, beef, tomatoes, and red chili. And so I found that and I was like, oh, you know, that's just like mine. And I was so happy because they asked for beans with the chili stew recipe. And we don't see that too much in my community. We just see a lot of our stews now, they have just meat. So I'm happy that, you know, people can remember to rely on beans and legumes. They're one of the three sisters. And as far as beans, you know, so this could be this is a three sister soup. You know, we have the squash. They all complement each other. The corn, the legumes. And this just has about 10 to 15 more minutes. As you can see, it's really thickening up now.
Yeah. Yeah, you can only do
my
so
eyes
much
are
in an hour,
burning
Tina.
from the onions. Yeah, it's actually good. It's actually good. If I maybe would have had everything chopped, it would be done. But that's almost done. The potato salad's done. And you'd have a dinner.
Yum.
Oh, you know what's cool? In her recipe, in this book, the same recipe is the one that has chili stew with blue corn dumplings. And that just blew my mind. So You know, we could take it a step further and add the dumplings in, and that's amazing. So I'll be doing that soon. Yeah. Any more questions or anything from anyone? Let's go ahead and add the tomatoes. Just
You
so
know,
you
one
guys
thing,
can
Tina,
see.
that crossed my mind. Oh, I see Catherine Herrera's got a question. Come on, Catherine. Come on now.
I just wanted to know, for your potato salad, did you take off all the skin for the potato salad?
Yes, great question. Great question. I should have mentioned that. So for russets, I always peel russets. But for the red potatoes or the golden yellow potatoes, I don't peel those ones. And you can see, you know why the russets have the rougher skin. They're not as smooth. So great question. I peeled all of the potatoes for the potato salad. Yeah. But for the stew, I didn't peel, or kind of peel. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for asking. Yeah, and like I mentioned, the russet, you know, they're just cheaper. Like if you're making a large batch and you have a budget, you can always choose the russet over gold or red. You don't have to put red in your stew or yellow. You could use any potatoes that you have available to you, and it'll be just as good. So yeah, I really wish I could share this with you. And our stew is still cooking. It's getting close to being done.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a question.
Earlier how
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, please ask.
Instead of the potatoes, could you do like turnips?
You could. Yeah, I've never tried that myself.
Because it would be like a rooted plant.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, you could totally do that. You could even use sweet potatoes. And that would be very good with the chili as well, if you don't want white potatoes or potatoes at all. But yeah, please try that out and let us know. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, I was mentioning, me and Kevin earlier, what we like about this combination is it reminds us of feast day, when you get to have your feast bowl and you try out the chili stew, and then you go for the potato salad and there's still chili, you know, or you just get one bowl and one chance to sit down and you mix it, and it's so good. So if the stew was done right now, I would go ahead and just mix it in for you guys and show you what it's about. But yeah, as you can see, yeah, it really is. You can see how this looks now. It's very colorful. We have the red, the green, the yellow corn. The chili is really thickening up. And you can add salt as you go. You can salt to your liking, and just test it. You know, some people in our communities can't have too much salt. Others can, or you know, others like a lot of salt. So it's up to you guys how much salt you really want to put in that. But everything's pretty much done. I mean,
well, thank you so much,
there's nothing
really,
else for me to cut. Yeah.
With the introduction, really, you managed to do that in 45 minutes. That's impressive to pull that all together. So thank you so much. And I really appreciate your expanding, thinking about lentils in a stew, and, you know, because as you mentioned, pintos in another recipe, but it's nice to think about what other things are out there. I really appreciate your creating these recipes and sharing them with us.
Totally. Yeah. And you know, like I said, you could put any bean in this. It's just about the cook time. Lentils cook really fast, 30 minutes. They're just about done. Some of them are opening up. And yeah, I just love them. And pound per pound, more protein than beef. So, you know, this same recipe in my community, people might have put beef or pork. So this is just a cleaner protein and a way to get more protein in your diet. So yeah, that's it right there. As you can see, it's still bubbling away. I hope you guys like it if you give it a try. It's pretty familiar. So, you know, just be open to adding more vegetables to your stew or experimenting with what works for your family. And I also hope that you guys give the veggies a try. I like it, and most times community won't even notice. And you're doing them a favor. You're doing our families a favor. So yeah, message me anytime. Tell me how you like it, or if you don't like it. There's other brands out there. Other brands, I think, I can't think of the other name right now. There's another brand, and even at Walmart now you can find like egg-free mayonnaise, and so yeah, just look around. This isn't the only option, but yeah, hope you guys like it. Any more questions? Anybody? Comments? Kevin?
I do. I do. Hello,
Great.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Where do you find that veggies?
You can find it at Walmart. You can find it at Smith's, Sprouts, Albertsons. And I was telling people in the group that you usually can find it in the alternative meat section, like where the tofu is, or where the, like, it's usually near the produce. Yeah. Or you could ask the people at the store, and they'll,
Okay.
they should know if you can't find it.
Does it come in a smaller
Yeah,
size? Does it come in a smaller
Yeah,
size
it does.
jar?
It comes, yeah, it comes in this size. So like half, like a small one, or this large one.
Yeah, so you can try it
But
before
yeah,
you invest in the big jar.
You can get the small one. Yeah.
Good question.
And it's great. We put it like on we put it on veggie burgers. We put it on, you can make an ABLT and use this. Everything. I use it for coleslaw and potato salad, main thing. Yeah, great ingredient.
What's its content?
Yeah,
on the
and
back? Like sugars and fat.
So there's 0 sugar, 9 grams of fat,
Oh,
0 cholesterol.
thank you.
You can't really
Thank
see.
you.
It's not catching it, but yeah.
Thank you.
Great, guys. What? No problem. Well, we're at 6:30. I understand if anyone has to leave. Our stew is almost there. You'll be able to tell if your lentils are done, if they're not hard, you know, just like any bean. You want to check it and make sure it's not hard. And one thing to consider is that when you turn off the heat, they're still going to cook a little. So yeah, you want them firm. You don't want them to be too mushy. That's what I can tell you. And it's looking good. You can see the stew's thicken. The oil is glistening.
Yes,
and yeah, for this dish, oh yeah, and I was just gonna mention, Perdita, sorry, but you could eat this, of course, with oven bread, tortillas. It's really good with fry bread, cornbread, which we'll be making in the next community cooking video in 2 weeks.
That's right.
So if you want to learn how to make some gluten-free blue cornbread with tamaya blue corn, please come. I'll be
Right,
happy
and
to share.
And you've been having fun with
Great.
beans, right? Sharing a favorite pinto bean recipe as well, right? So yeah, that'll be on March
Right.
23rd, the same time, 5:30. So we'll be sending out information. So please join us for that. And thank you all. If you have an opportunity right now to look in the chat and get the survey that we have, the link that Kevin has put up for us, that'd be great. And we'll also follow up with that as well as the recipe for this chili stew and potato salad. So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you on the 23rd, and we hope to do this in person at some point once we get through this time. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for coming, everyone. It was good to see you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Sweet dreams.